roadmap here. But just so that you guys have it so clearly organized so that if your team wants to go and see your OKRs, they don't fail. Like, this is related to this item on the roadmap, and this is the OKR. Awesome. Yeah, okay, so let's try. I'm gonna answer Liana's, and I just wanted to preface the session with, if there are questions I'm not getting into, I apologize in advance. There's going to be tons of questions flooding the chat. But what I will say is, we have ambassadors, we have Notion tutorials on YouTube, as well as our Notion Help Center, which I'll link at the end. So if you guys would like to have any more, like if you guys have any more questions or just need more, direction with a specific use case you're trying to build out, please visit those websites. We have templates, we have tons of things that will help you and your team get that up. So, Liana, let's see. Can I use filters in a database without displaying the filtering results to everyone? Oh yes, this is awesome. I love this question because this is a common pain point that we encounter with users all the time in team workspaces, and I will demonstrate a quick resolution to that. So let's say you have the team-wide roadmap, and this is the main database view. So let's go to the main view, default view. We need to filter it out for different needs. When somebody filters it, everyone else can see it too. So that's what linked databases are for. So what you want to do is you have this main default view of all of your tasks, let's say all of your projects, right? But let's say I just want to see the things that are assigned to me. And so you can do this in one of two ways. If you don't mind adding a new view to this roadmap, then go ahead and click on that, create table, and let's call it Maya's projects. And here I can filter and add filter and go assign to Maya. And there you go. It's all of the tasks, projects that are assigned to me. That's one way. Step two is, let's say that I do not want to clutter this main view. That's a huge pain point we see is, let's say you have a team of 20 people and each one of your coworkers or team members are adding their own view to this like menu, this panel. Well, that becomes messy really fast. So what they could do is they can go to their private page and say my OKRs. I was able to do this earlier, but let's try this again with my projects page. And let's go here and let's do the linked database. So /linked, create linked. So the team-wide roadmap that I was just on. And let's create a view for that. Apologies for load time. So Maya's projects, create. And so you'll go here, go step one to create the view, title it, and then go filter, add filter, in the same way we did before, assign to Maya. And those are all of the projects that are assigned to me. So does that answer your question, Liana? How to help make sure that different teams don't, or different members aren't editing the roadmap by adding filters to it. Because see, the problem is the issue that we experience in different teams, or we see in different teams, is that they'll just go ahead and add a filter on the default view and be like, where the assigned to contains myself. And see, that affects the entire view for everyone. So you want to make sure that you create a separate view or you create a linked database in your private pages or wherever. You can do this anywhere. Ideally, you want to do it in your private pages so you don't change the team home base view. And you add those filters that assign to yourself. Okay, Lucas, I'm going to answer your question next. A confidence and impact property. How are those using your workspace? Are you using them for any formulas? So in terms of this workspace that I built out, I was able to do a rice prioritization database. So basically using specific features, relating them to the roadmap item, an item on like the team-wide roadmap that you guys were just seeing earlier, and then evaluating scores for each. So let's say we'll have like accounts. So we want to use the count property for each label in that RICE acronym. So we have reach, impact, confidence, effort. So let's say I'm going to start off here and I'm going to change the property type to number, change impact to number, confidence, effort to number as well. And then for the rice score, right here, I'm going to create a new column called rice score and have it be a formula. And I'll go into edit formula. And then what you want to do is have prop reach plus prop impact plus prop confidence divided by prop effort. That's like the rice computation. So to look into our formulas, we have a help center guide on this. If you go to notion.so/help, you'll have all of our articles and you can go to formulas and look at specifically how to create a formula in Notion. But essentially, if you want to add different properties together or work with different properties, you always want to do prop and then quotation marks around the specific property title, and then add those together, do whatever you like, divide. But that's how you're able to compute the rice scores. If we're to have like 50s, or reach say 50 users, impact is like, I don't know, 20, confidence is 100, effort is 1,000. The rice score is 70.1. So it automatically calculates that for you. And then the way I was able to go about that is because I have it, I have like a relation here built out with the team roadmap. I can go to the team roadmap, and relations are bidirectional. So if you have a relation in one database, it'll automatically create the relation in the other. So this is related to the rice prioritization. Automatically, there's a column that's created that's called related to, and then the title of the database that you created that relation in. So as you can see, I'll walk you through it one more time. So the rice prioritization, I created a relation to the team-wide roadmap. And then I go in here, I go to the team-wide roadmap, and automatically this creates a related to rice prioritization column. So does that answer your question, Lucas? There's some sugar for my question. Awesome. Yeah, so rice is a popular tool used by product managers to assess and evaluate whether or not a feature should be launched or a feature should be worked on. So we're looking at reach, we're looking at impact. So reach would be ideally the number of users. Impact would be like how much the impact is received. So these are scores that you can kind of arbitrarily determine. Different teams have different ways about going about quantifying it. So yeah. Is it possible to use a prop coming up from a roll-up? Yeah. Are you asking about creating roll-ups? Because I can walk you guys through that as well. I'm looking at Jean-Charles. I don't know how to pronounce some names, so please correct me. Roll up from a number. Okay, so the way I kind of did this, so let's like pretend we're gonna do the rice score, right? So we have a relation to the rice prioritization table so that we're choosing this feature as our relation. We're choosing this feature specifically for this column or for this row. Apologies for the word vomit there. But essentially, say we're looking at optimized mobile messaging. Let's go back to the rice prioritization and let's do like a dummy score. So let's do 40, 79, 100, 200. I'm just making up numbers right here. And then we'll go to the team-wide roadmap. And we want to do a roll-up with the rice score. So spoiler, it already happened. Basically, how I was able to build out this roadmap is let's start this roll-up. Let me just replicate it right here. This column. Roll up. And then I'm going to configure roll up. And select an existing relation. Let's go to the related to rice prioritization column that was created when I created a relation in the rice prioritization database to the team-wide roadmap. Let's go property. And we're going to choose rice score. And there you go. For this specific feature that we chose right here, we were able to create or relate it to the rice score that was associated to it in the database for rice prioritization. Did that answer your question, Jean-Charles? Or did you want me to show a specific example? So this is also another reason why we should have OKRs and projects and tasks live in separate databases to do what Jean-Charles is asking for, which is essentially, if you want to roll up a specific number of property from another database, it's nice if that database is its own database and doesn't live in the same one. So let me just walk you through that. So I'm trying to think of the best way to go about this. Project status. Okay. Let's go to the OKR database and let me just see if there's any sort of, let's say the key result, let's change it to a number property. Let's say it's 30. makes no sense, but let's just pretend in our world we understand that 30 means 30% engagement. Cool. We'll go here, go back to the project roadmap. We'll create a new project roadmap. Or actually, let's go back to the original one. And so we want to look at the OKR score for the objective associated to this project, right? Because different objectives, there could be the same objective assigned to multiple projects. Which is another reason why you want to have the databases live separately, the OKRs versus the projects, because you want to have, you can kind of pick and choose which objectives can be assigned to specific projects. So by building out that relation. So let's just go here, OKR, home, create relation. Objective here is to improve our mobile experience. And let's say we want to look at the key result associated to that. So you can go here, all this very score. There's a lot of columns in this one. It's just to show you guys. You guys obviously do not need to have this many columns. You can make it a lot more simplified. It's just so that I can kind of demo all the features and stuff. So here, let's make this our key results. And let's go here and let's do roll up specifically from this objective. And then the property, we can choose the key results. And there we go. Right there, we're able to map that out. Okay, I'm looking at Justin's. Jean-Charles, I was to kind of answer your sort of question about having a roll-up number for the objectives and the key result, not objective, OKR identities. Awesome. Hi, Justin. Hi, wondering about tracking / managing team capacity. Is this something you've seen teams do using related DBs? Team capacity. So could you define team capacity, like meaning like number of team members? Because we can talk about kind of a people directory that we can build out. Available work hours. So scheduling and stuff. So you could have, trying to think of the best way to go about this. You could have a separate database called schedules, or you could do it all in one. I would assume that it'd be easy to accomplish. Let's say like mine here, and let's say my schedule availability. And you can kind of create the dates that I'm available at. So let's say it's like end date, say I'm available from now until August 29th. You can do that for each employee, and then you can kind of roll that up into different databases. Let's say like you wanted to assign me to a specific project. Sorry, where did that go? Okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna change this to team member schedules. And then go to my roadmap. And let's say that this is assigned to Maya, and therefore we can look at Maya's schedules here, database, team member schedules, relation, here, here. And so because there's a redundancy of assigned to and this column where it's basically going to take the team member name, we can delete the assigned to. Oops, sorry.
So we have low, medium, and high. You could have low, medium, high, super high. This is all very editable by you. So very high. The very high seems like a very simple color. So let's make it orange. And we can add an emoji to it as well. But let's just say it's very high, and we can just put the due date there. So how you filter it and how you look at it will depend on what you put in to the information or put into the database and into the page. So we have here by status, by assignee, and by my tasks. My tasks is a nice one. So within that is, once you have your name beside it as a property, you can just create a my tasks view, and that'll only pull in ones that are relevant for you. So when you're creating, you just say at me, and it'll only show yours. But this is a simplistic version of it. You can make it as complex and add more and more detail to it. So this is how it started, a nice simple page list, and this is what we've done with it now within Notion. And we've all created different views of it within Fig. So engineering have their own view, and we can see a calendar view around it as well, and we can see. So we've already created one that's just high. Well, it should be high priority. So you can create ones that are just high priority for you. So what I'd recommend there is start, see how you use it, add the features to it, and your best friend will be creating a view that's relevant for you and then filtering by what you need. That's been a game changer for me. So even when I joined, there's all these tasks and all this information, I didn't know where to start. And what I started by doing is like creating views that were just for me, that only I could see. And by creating a view for yourself, when you edit that view, it doesn't change the master view for everyone else. So that's really, really important as well. So I've cut the data by multiple ways just to suit me and what I need it for. I was curious about the action template you guys use. By you guys, if you mean Notion, unfortunately I can't share that information, Graham, but it wouldn't be too dissimilar to this. Is it possible to group by date? Sorry, Graham, I feel bad now. Is it possible to group by date? I'm going to see my day log, if not, how people create their own day log. Yeah, you can do that. So I'm going to go to add a view. I like list views or things like that. Simple. Add a view and then oops here. See, this is what I mean with the name contains me. And it shows me add filter group. Delivery date is like tomorrow, for example. It's going to be, it's not blank. But there we have some information there, everything, and then list view is a bad name. So I'm going to rename that to my task due. For example, so you can do it that way as well. Is it possible to somehow lock a master view so it can't be overwritten? Yeah, we can lock databases. A similar way to lock a page. So all priority, and then we go to here, and then it's lock. So you can lock it like that. That locks the database. But I know exactly what you mean. If you don't lock it, maybe there's a reason you don't want to lock it. I guess then it comes down to training, and then people know, like, if you do create, it's best to create your own version of it rather than editing the master. But I think that goes for any kind of software or anything that you use. I know I've shared documents with people, they've edited it, and I've gone, no, please don't do that. But what you can do as well, it's the other thing about Notion is nothing's ever gone forever. If you go to page history at the top, you can scroll back to yesterday before the database was changed, and you can change it there and restore it. But I know exactly what you mean, but I suggest locking it and maybe just explain to people that by editing the master, you can edit for everyone else. Great. What would be your, from client experience, the top Notion feature or setup for marketing teams? Yeah, great question. It's, for me, it has been around the content calendar piece is really, really popular. And I suppose the content calendar sounds very simplistic in itself, but this becomes the page where the space where the teams can really start to communicate with each other, and it becomes a very live environment. So I've had calendar view. I've been speaking to customers where these pages, the 28th is this long or the 30th is this long, because we use it for everything that they do, all their content that they publish, everything that they use goes through Notion. So that content calendar, being able to have your one source of information and one source of truth is really, really popular, and allows for a lot of internal collaboration. So I'd say for me, talking to marketing teams, that would be the most popular use case. And the other one as well would be the tasks, or the meeting notes. Is about having that space where we can collaborate. So what I've done here, you can see, is I've related it to the meeting notes and I've filtered it by our marketing team. But what you can do then is when you go to the main one, you can see what else is happening within the business. So that's quite popular as well. So it's great to be able to have your own view of it within the marketing team, but it's also great to be able to see what's happening within your company as well. So yeah, I would say it would be around the content calendar. And I suppose the other one that would be quite popular as well is having a space for your brand assets. So for all your imagery. And again, this is a great space for your designers to be, so everything is there and they're not going to several different spaces to try and find what they need. So having that, your brand assets saved locally is also very, very popular. So yeah, great questions. We use the brand asset corporate clients, works great. Oh, cool. So John, you'll have to tell us. This is safe space, right? You can tell us in the chat how that worked with the permissions and the sharing. Do you have it in a safe space? Yeah, seconds. Here at Notion, I'm live.
Hi, Lucas. So Lucas asked, what does Notion's Ops workspace look like? So I can show you an example. So this is an example workspace that we have. And so this pretty much looks very similar to our internal ops workspace. And so from a sales ops perspective, I have things like our homepage, our team directory, keeping track of who is who, all of our new hires, and our team members. And then also having our operating system here. So, having a list of all of our contracts, our playbooks, pitches, etc. And any deals, and our account database. And so, our deals database, we can see the deals that we have in motion. And then I can go back to looking at the account that it's related to. And then if I go to the account, then I see more information about their background, their phone number, the current spend. This is a roll-up of all of the deals, and then any related meetings we have. And then I have more roll-ups on, the last contact. So I can see, we reached out to Blue Sky 6 days ago.